Hi guys, hope you're all doing great. Today I'm going to be going through the 29 pages that I've completed in February in this book by Lorna Scobie, 365 Days of Art. I'm going to flip through and go through each prompt, show the materials that I used on each page, point out the favourite pages as well as we go through. So let's get to February, which will be from page 32. So yeah, page 32 was to add foliage to the rest of the trees. Perhaps you could draw the individual leaves or use a more abstract shape to suggest the form of a tree. I wanted to use those watercolours that I previously used on this page. So these are really old watercolours as well. I had some spare and I didn't want to wash them away basically. So I just used different thicknesses to try and get some different effects on the trees and wanted to mix them all up together. So happy with that one. 33, draw a page of stars in any style you like. Just used coloured pencils on this one, nothing fancy, and just continued the pattern. 34 was to continue practicing calligraphy by using this page to explore mark making. So I've been using Arteza brush pens on these pages. Yeah, just practicing really, getting different strokes. 35 was to complete the pattern. So I just carried on with colour pencils, the same ones that I used on page 33. 36, paint the ocean from your imagination. Just use, again, some cheap old acrylics that I've got, and it's just to practice really how it all works and blends together. Made my own colours. I tried to get some different colours in the background. That was 36. 37 was to fill a page with things that are the colour red. And I used a few different materials on this page. One of them was this small uni Posca pen, which is a very fine tip. I think it's 0.7 millimeters, in things like the watermelon, the cherries. I used it as well. The mushroom. So that's a mixture of just the same colour pencils that I've been using. And I think the ones that I'm happiest with on this page are the balloon, because I like the fact that I've got the shading on that nice. I like the pen here. It's based on a barrel pen. Probably, I know the cherries are a bit messy, but I quite like the effect that I got. I put a colour pencil down before the Posca pen was dry to get some shading in there. Okay, 38. Draw within the black areas using white pastel or chalky white coloured pencil. So I did a separate video a week ago on a few of the pages that were my favourite, just to show a little bit more detail on what I did, and you can sort of see the start to finish on a lot of these. So I included this page because it was with pastel that I'm not very experienced in using, and it was on a black background as well. I was really happy with on this was the way the clouds have turned out. Really like that. Just it looks completely different to anything that I've done in the rest of the book. So I wanted to just include that in a separate video, which I'll link in the description. To stop the pastel from transferring to this page, I did this on another couple of pages as well, is use this colourless fixative spray. Because I didn't want to get transfer. I have seen transfer on a few of the other pages earlier on in the book. So I wanted to try and prevent that happening. And that has worked. It's not, as far as I can see, I know it's white, but it's not gone over. So that's good. Okay, 39 was draw a pair of glasses or sunglasses. I included this in a separate video as well, just because I'm really happy with the way they turned out. They're based on the glasses that I wear every day. And I've used this, I forgot to mention on the previous page, my go-to white gel pen is a Pilot 0.7 millimeter. What is it? A Pilot Choose. Because it pretty much goes over everything. It's thin enough to get fine detail. I can make bigger blocks like I have done here. There's reflections. It really points out the brighter areas of the glasses. 40 was open a picture book, turn to a page at random and draw something from that page. As summer's on its way, I want to draw something a bit more summery. So I find this flamingo in the picture book that I've got. So I draw her and just a few flowers and colour the background in the light blue. I don't know if you can actually see that. You might not be able to, but it is a light blue and greeny sort of background. At 41 was create a flock of birds of paradise by adding wings, tail feathers, beaks and legs. And that's again with just colour pencil. At 42, sometimes when you're stuck for creativity, it's useful to draw something you love. It could be a thing, a person, an animal, a plant, anything. So I drew my cat. I got a white paws and a white belly in there. That's just with Posca. Yeah. So 43, conversations can be the start of stories and ideas. Write down an interesting conversation that you've heard. 44, colour in the plants. So on this page, I haven't used a lot of felt tips or brush pens, any alcohol markers really, because they all go through to the following page, but the page behind this isn't something that you're going to be doing any art on. So I thought I'd give these a try, these watercolour brush pens that I got for Christmas. Wanted to try and see how they blended together. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm supposed to use water with these. I might try again and use water to see if they move. I'm not sure how it would work on this paper though. Might make a bit of a mess. But yeah, I thought I'd give them a go anyway because I wanted to get some bright flowers there. And it's not something I've really been using in the book, so I thought there's an opportunity there to use them. And 45, this was in the other video that I did, the start to finish of it. What activities make you feel relaxed? Draw or write it here. So this is just sitting in my back garden on a sunny day, just relaxing, listening to the birds and the world go by. I use these Pentel point liners. So on this one, it's the very small one, the 0.05. And they're water and fade resistant, so you can put watercolours over them and it doesn't smudge. It doesn't go through to the following page either, so that's a bonus. And you can go over the watercolours as well when they're dry. Yeah, 46, something completely different here, but I'm really happy with it. So this was included in that other video. There are lots of ways to create an image. You don't have to draw with a pencil. Try collage today. So this is with envelopes. So if people give me birthday, Christmas cards, I keep the envelopes if they're nice and bright because they become useful for just any sort of art and craft really. And I use them here. I just cut up some envelopes. Any colours that I didn't have, I've just used some tissue paper and stuck it all down. And to get the detail, just use those pens that I mentioned, both the white and the point liners. Just use the reference image on that and really happy with it, how it turned out. So you can see what I was saying about the brush markers. I felt that type of thing just goes straight through. But the way I had the watercolour hasn't gone through at all. Or those point liners. I'm doing this art book to get back into doing art and learn about different techniques and how different materials work together. I just have a little bit of fun with it. So I'm going to link all the art supplies that I've mentioned as well in the description and the book, as that's something that you're interested in having a look at and trying yourself. Okay, so this was just to fill the page with coloured stripes. I'll just use those old watercolours again. And calligraphy practice, which I need a bit more practice on. 49 was to add your own colourful flowers. So I just used a mixture of these slightly bigger Posca pens. I just got a couple of packets of them here. I like the pastel set. So yeah, I've been using those. These don't go through as well. So that's why I use them quite a lot. And they're really bright, the finish on them. And they dry quickly. You can draw over them. So I tick quite a few boxes there. So that's why I've been using these quite a lot. Page 50, so I wanted to practice creating colours with pencil. So I only used red, blue and yellow on this page. And I really love the way the green and the orange have turned out. To blend them together, I used a Derwent blender pen. The colour that I'm disappointed with is the purple because it was hard to get the same purple or get it consistent all the way along the page. And I'm not really a fan of the actual purple that came out of the red and the blue. So it's I'm happy with how the page turned out though. It was good practice for me to blend these colours together, keep the pattern consistent as well. I don't want to make a mistake. So that took a long time to work out where every colour was going. And I protected the page on this with the fixative spray again because I didn't want it going over here. And that's worked. It's not gone over at all. There's absolutely nothing on that page. So happy with that. Yeah, 51 was the first time using gouache. I had some transfer from the bits that were already there on the pattern. So I've sort of used that as a starting point to get some wacky designs on these vases. And I wanted to try and complement the yellow that was in the background. So used pink, made my own pink up and green, grey, and then the darker colour. And I've had to put this piece of paper in because it was, even though I thought it was dry, it was coming off onto the following page. But I can do that now anyway. So it's gouache on both pages, a mixture of gouache and watercolour on 52, which was just to continue the pattern. And I used the point liner, which did go over quite well, actually. I think it was a 0.5 I used on this. Okay, 53, design a pair of trousers or pants. So, I didn't just want to use coloured pencils again. I thought, well, as soon as I've done collage, let's have another go. And I just made these look like something out of the 90s, I think, or I don't know. Made some wacky trousers out of the coloured envelopes that I've got. Used some of the felt as well. I had some felt hanging about. And used a white Posca, the thin one, to get some detail in there and the black dots. 54, add trees to the forest. So just using watercolours that I've used on previous pages. I wanted to try and blend them together and see what I could get. That's what it looked like on the original images. Quite happy with this one. There's a little tree at the top there. And this reddy green one. Yeah, 55. What is the pen finished drawing? I used the same technique as what I used on the garden. Started out drawing out the design in pencil. And this is based on the skyline in New York City. And then I just used some to colour in the buildings at the end because it was a bit plain. I thought I'm going to colour these in. So I used those watercolours. Just tried to get some shading in the areas, the white pen again, and the point liners. Very pleased with that. I did have some paper come off. You can see that there. I don't think you can see it as much now. I coloured in the background. I've just put this here because they are coming off. But 56 was fill the bowl with a mixture of colourful fresh fruit. I wanted to use oil pastel again because I've only used that once in the book. Happy with how the peach, the orange and the pear came out. The bananas, I've tried ages to try and get that banana more yellow. I think I've lost hope. It's the worst banana I've done in this book. This one's all right. 57, colouring the concentric circles. There could be shades of different colours such as purple or blue, and consider what moods these colours might represent, perhaps calmness or serenity. Okay, 58. I'm quite happy with this. I'm going to give it another go on something else, I think. It's designer t-shirt, but I wanted to do a tie-dye t-shirt. And I use watercolour. Where are they? These are from WH Smith's, which I think it's in the UK. I don't know whether you can get them anywhere else. Something that I've been enjoying using. And what I wanted to do was to get the colours down first and then blend them together with a water brush. and happy with how this has turned out in the end. Might give it a go with Neocolor 2s, using those instead. Do a tie-dye piece. 59 then was fill a page with things that are the colour yellow. The watercolour pencils ones are my favourite again. So the balloon, the cheese at the bottom here, and the cheesecake. I really like those three. I wet the paper first on this one and then added the watercolour after. Put the watercolour down first and then wet the paper with the cheesecake and the balloon, just to see how different it turned out. And I think I prefer wetting the paper first and adding the watercolour. But I don't know how that would have turned out with the cheesecake, because I wanted that yellow. It's like a lemon cheesecake. I wanted that yellow quite bright on the top. So just practicing with those. But I really am enjoying using those watercolours. And then 60 was to colour in the dots. So I wanted to keep with, we've used a lot of yellow here. I wanted to carry on with the yellow, but just adding a bit of blue and green as well. Silver and gold. Okay, so those are the 29 pages that I completed in February. Yeah, I think the favourite materials that I've used so far are the watercolour pencils. Yeah, the watercolours with the point liners. I like those. And just normal coloured pencils as well, even though they're not the best pencils. I'm enjoying using them and blending them together. I've got some Prismacolors and I think some Derwent ones recently. So I'm going to start using those as we go further into the book. I know they're softer and they'll blend better, so I probably will like them. Same with the Neocolors, because I know people have used those and said they've enjoyed using them and maybe I should give them a try. So I've got those too. So I'm going to try and use some different supplies. I just don't want them to go through to the next page. So I might have to, I don't know if I've got a spare page that I can like just see if things are going to go through. But just a bit conscious that I don't want to wreck the next page. So I'm going to try some different supplies anyway, and different combinations as well in March. See how it works for me. Let me know if there are any art supplies that you'd like me to use in this book that I haven't mentioned, or you think based on what I've enjoyed using so far, I should give a go. And yeah, please let me know if you like the video and click subscribe so you don't miss out on any new ones that I post. I'll link the 2 previous flip through videos in the description too to watch if you haven't seen them yet. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.